Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you a NASDAQ 100 Index update. I did record this Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. This is big picture analysis. Keep in mind that I provide the same analysis in the Triple Q on a daily basis. Every single day, the daily Triple Q report comes out, and it's about as long as this video, and it actually provides a newsletter format with support and resistance levels, PDF file you can download every day and use yourself, and that is all for $25 a month. You get the NASDAQ 100 ETF, the Triple Q, the same exact formations I'm going to be showing you here. I start with these in the Triple Q and then work my way in. I fine-tune all the near-term stuff day by day. The same line studies that I'm showing you here can be converted to daily levels with early signals, both upside and downside, provided in the daily Triple Q report. So I encourage you to go to wickedstocks.com, sign up. It's $25 a month. Try it for a month. Check it out. You'll have really, I think, valuable daily Triple Q levels that you can use for your trading of either the underlying or the options themselves. Anyway, let's jump to the chart. The chart you're looking at is a weekly chart. These are weekly charts throughout of the NASDAQ 100 Index. This is a rising two-thirds speed line projected off the March 2020 low. I call it the COVID low. Significant downside pullback. Rising two-thirds speed line held last week. We did slip below it. You can see the two extreme points here on this chart. 6771.91, and then the high was 16,764.86. And the rising two-thirds speed line this week is 11,260.47, rising exactly 38.37 points a week for the week of Tuesday, June 21st. And you can see that we did slip below it last week. We did not close below it. If we did close below it by a 1% margin, we would fall to our next meaningful support, which I'm going to show in just a moment. But the point I want to clarify here is after having tested long-term support, this has been an objective for some weeks. I think I even showed this in the last video on the NASDAQ 100 a couple of weeks ago. Holding above this speed line, now that we've tested it, will maintain the descending two-thirds speed line projected off the November all-time high last November, and that comes in this week at 14,785.85. This is considered a 2 to 3 month objective. Of course, there will be hurdles on the way up, and I'm going to show that in a moment. But this is the big picture. We can rally up to the top of this wedge, the descending two-thirds speed line at 14,785.85, dropping 65.96, 65.96 a week. We could top out there on a quarterly basis and fall off and fill this wedge out perhaps all the way through the rest of the year. And once again, holding above 11,260.47 maintains a 2 to 3 month objective at 14,785.85. In the way up, we have a descending one-third speed line. So with speed line analysis, if you close above the descending one-third speed line, you have a target at the descending two-thirds speed line. So right now, the descending one-third speed line is at 12,812.78. You can see it here for the week of Tuesday, June 21st, dropping 131.73 a week. And as long as that low at 11,037.21 remains good, in other words, we don't retest it, we don't take it out, that all the descending speed lines, the one-third at 12,812.78 and the two-thirds at 14,785.85 remain good. You can monitor them through time, and they will continue to be what I call trend defining. So the 12,812.78 is a trend defining resistance level that can contain monthly buying pressures when tested. And I would call this a 3 to 5 week upside objective. Holding above 11,260.47, I maintain a 3 to 5 week upside target at 12,812.78, where we can top out through July and perhaps fall back to the 11,260.47 rising two-thirds speed line over the following 2 to 3 to 5 weeks. We could fill that wedge out all the way into August trade. But as I say, it would be a settlement above 12,812.78, dropping 131.73 a week. That should result in price acceleration bullish continuation. And instead of 2 to 3 months, I think you're looking more like 5 to 8 week target up above at 14,785.85, where once again we can top out on a quarterly basis. I will say this too, nearer term, last week's high was the move low. It's the lowest we'd been in a year and a half or so. It is the lowest we'd been since the all-time high from last November. The high of that week is 11,751.29. And this is a very simple bar chart analysis, but these work pretty well. When you close above the high of the low, in other words, were we to close this Friday, this week, June 24th, above 11,751.29, we actually have a buy signal up to the 12,812.78 speed line. I said that's a 3 to 5 week target anyway, above 11,260.47. And if we close this week, Friday, above 11,751.29, we should reach that 12,812.78 inside of 2 to 3 weeks, where once again, we can top out through July into August, fall off from there, and if settled above, should spark aggressive bullish continuation inside of 5 to 8 weeks, up to that 14,785.85 descending 2/3 speed line, which once again is a 2 to 3 month target anyway, above 11,260.47, 14,785.85, able to contain quarterly buying pressures when tested, and if settled above, would signal longer term bullish continuation through the rest of the year. Way ahead of myself on this one. Let's talk downside. That what if we do close below 11,260.47 at the end of the week? Once again, it's rising 38.37 a week, and that really does need to be by a 1% margin. All of these speed lines should be violated by a 1% margin for what I call technical clarity or reliability. So if we close this Friday, June 24th at 11,147.87 or lower by a 1% margin, then we drop to our next significant support. And it's not that far off. Let me show you. This is the same chart going back almost, 25 years anyway. I was going to say almost 30 years, but 25 years anyway. It's the same exact speed line I showed in the previous chart, projected off that March 2020 low that this week is at 11,260.47. And if we close below it by the 1% margin shown here, we haven't far to fall. Maybe by the end of next week, maybe only a full week of trade before you see this convergence of two significant Fibonacci downside support levels. A, B, is the post-dot-com bubble low of 2002 against B is the all-time high from last November. 3/8 back on those two extremes is 10,664.47. And if you take a look at CB, which is the March 2020 COVID low, the 5/8 back off the all-time high B is 10,589.22. So these two classic Fibonacci support levels come in very close proximity to each other, and I can't ignore it. Now, if you look at this chart, you can see that following the rally off C, the March 2020 low, that significant hyperbolic rally that we are in the process of giving over half of it back, approaching 5/8 as you can see on CB. And you know, what often happens with these, I call them church steeple rallies, pretty common term, is the market winds up giving it all back. I don't see that happening unless we close below that 10,589.22 5/8 Fibonacci. If we were to close any week below 10,589.22, then we should see C, which is not marked in this chart, but we will be marking it in post-edit. We should retest that within 2 to 3 months of closing below 10,589.22, and that would give it all back. That would complete the church steeple rally. And then what? Well, historically, what we could do is a very prolonged period of sideways consolidation that lasts probably through next year. That would be the truth. But we're not there yet. First of all, 11,260.47 can contain quarterly selling pressures, possibly through the rest of the year, as I mentioned earlier. And if we close below it, all hope is not lost. Our next quick target, likely within a full week of trade, is the 10,589.22 to 10,664.47 area. Also able to contain quarterly, possibly annual selling pressures. And once again, last thing I'll say, not until or unless we close below below 10,589.22 at the end of a week, do I see the market likely within as little as 2 to 3 months to fall back to that March 2020 low. I think that pretty much covers it for this particular NASDAQ 100 Index video analysis. Don't forget to go to wickedstocks.com and sign up for the daily Triple Q report. You will get this information on a day-by-day basis. And that's all I've got. You have a great day.